You know, we've known each other a really long time. She's been here since
96.
I've been here since 99. Our children are about the same age and everything, and we just have fun together. Although we can talk work, we can talk recruiting, we pair our roommates together. We take a lot of time to think about what would work out with that. We bounce different issues off each other through work, but yet, you know, one of the most fun we have is if we can ever get together just to hang out together a little bit, which isn't often, unfortunately.
Right. You know, we would have these big family tailgates up at Koskinen Stadium on top of Scandalaris, and so our children's upbringing, that's what they think of. I mean, that was such a central part of their upbringing. I think the big thing with early detection right now is that breast cancer is impacting women younger and younger and younger. And that's, even for me, I was still in my 40s, mid-40s, and that was still considered young. But I'm sure, like you, like, how many people do I know who have been in their mid-40s, between 45 and 50, who have been diagnosed with breast cancer? You know, a lot, and even younger. In our sport, we've had a handful of coaches. We had no history in our family until me. So.
Right, and we had no history until my sister. And then we had the exact same oncotype, exact same type of cancer and everything, which was interesting too. Mm-hmm. So, but I was fortunate and she was fortunate. We were in our 50s. So that was definitely to my advantage. It's my understanding. If you're diagnosed a little bit later, it's often a better scenario.
Two things, Jolene. I think one of the things that we both experienced in this is that we both kind of went in like wanting mastectomies, right? Like
yes,
we both went in
absolutely.
And we were like, just take them off, take them off. And you know, I was really surprised, and even looking back, knowing kind of what I know now, I was surprised they didn't do it. But I thought what was so great is that our doctors and the staff in the Duke Cancer Center, they were so up to date on the most recent research. And you know, and again, I think it seems a little like, I don't want to say bougie to have a mastectomy, you know what I mean? But like, they were like, it's unnecessary. And do you really understand what that entails, right? And so we were both convinced, because we both thought this is what we were going to do.
Yes.
And looking back, I'm so grateful that they explained the why, and they helped us understand why it was not our best option and it was not in our best interest to do that.
It was June of 2021, and I had my annual mammogram. I received a call that they wanted to come back for further testing, and so I got in. Luckily, I got in right away that following Tuesday after Memorial Day, and they did a biopsy that day because they said, well, we'd like to do this, and I'm like, well, can we do it now? They said sure, and it was the end of the week on Friday by the time I learned that it came out positive and there was something there. Went about my weekend, and Saturday morning I got a phone call from a different area code, and something made me pick it up, and it was a doctor, Shelley Wong, calling me to say that she was going to fit me into her schedule on that Monday. And Kier went with me to that first appointment, and that was really wonderful to have her.
It was similar. I had a little bit of a different path than Jolene did. When I went in, Dr. George Ade was my surgeon, and he's kind of like gruff and tough, but he's all business, and I really appreciated that. And that's kind of how he handled me. He kind of handled, the relationship was almost a little less doctor-patient and a little bit more player-coach, because I think he felt like he could talk to me like an athlete, and it really helped me because he kind of leveled with me and was very honest. And my road was a little different. I ended up having to have a couple of surgeries. My tumor was a little bigger, it was a little bit more aggressive, which meant I was going to have chemotherapy. And originally we maybe thought, like, I kind of got pushed through, because of the timing of the year, I kind of got pushed through the system pretty quickly, which I was so grateful for. I mean, I feel for the women who have to wait, hurry up and wait, and all that kind of anxiety, waiting to kind of hear news, next steps, that kind of thing. But I think the pathologist, in trying to kind of get everything done quickly, kind of left off a couple of critical points, and it ended up, I was thinking, oh, I'm gonna get out of this with surgery and radiation, and then I ended up needing to have chemotherapy too.
4 weeks later, when they finally had all the testing results back, and the oncologist that I got to meet, and Dr. Kelly Westbrook, said, well, we've looked at everything and we don't think you're gonna need chemotherapy.
That's awesome.
I mean, I had to ask her to repeat it again, because I couldn't believe it, because I really had myself set up that I'm gonna have to have this. And it just brought tears to your eyes, and you're so happy. You're wondering, why are you crying? Well, you're so happy. But at the same time, I really thought that wouldn't be the case. So then you switch into gear, and it's radiation that you have to go through. Of course, immediately I let my staff know. I let my team know because I didn't want them to hear from someone other than me, and I wanted to keep them very updated. But I found my staff, my immediate staff, and sports medicine, and Duke Athletics administratively, and my team, as well as my family, just a huge support for me, just a huge support and understanding, and really kind of gave me strength. I'm trying to arrange those appointments so I didn't have to miss a match, or I didn't, maybe I couldn't go with the team on Thursday night, but I could get there Friday morning and after my radiation on Friday morning. So there was just a lot of people working together to help you be able to still do your job, function at a high level, at least you thought you were, because I certainly didn't want this to impact our team at all, and I didn't want them to see me sweat in the whole thing. So, but after you get going in that radiation, it does hurt. You do have moments where you're hurting and feeling sorry for yourself. The support that we had, I came back. I walked over to that session, came back late in the afternoon, and my assistants had organized a gathering in the office of the entire team. This great ice cream cake. They made all these signs, the entire staff. I mean, it was incredible.
I think that, again, given that we're at Duke, we're very fortunate to attract wonderful people to work on our coaching staffs and in our department in general. And I think we both, I felt a very similar way. I just so trusted my staff while I was distracted at times with treatment and whatnot. And I think that's, it's a byproduct of this being such a great place, and we attract great people. And
Yes.
And it's a big piece of all of our success, for sure.
Definitely. The type of student athletes we attract, the whole thing. Yep.
It's easy to kind of let yourself get lost in work, to kind of be a positive distraction for you during that time. I felt like keeping myself busy and keeping my eye on our team and in our season was literally the single kind of greatest thing that helped me get through this. I just talked about this a little bit within our coaches organization. I think being a student, having been a student athlete and managing the rigor of training, both from a physical and mental aspect, I think really prepares you for this. I think I looked at every time I stepped foot in that cancer center, it was game day. Like every day for treatment. Radiation was so quick and every day that you kind of just got numb to it, but the hardest part isn't the physical piece, it's the mental one. It's the not knowing, it's the worry, it's everything. And so, I think that, again, I think our background in athletics and being competitors, I personally think really helped me a lot during this whole process.
And I did not go ring the bell when I was done. And the nurses did ask me at the end, they're like, you just finished your last treatment, do you want to go ring the bell? And I'm like, no. And I went and I touched it, but I don't know why I didn't want to, but I'd heard the bell along the way.
I think though that we're so many things to a lot of different people, right? We're wives, we're mothers, we're coaches, and we're more than coaches to our players, right? We're more than just a coach. We're friends, we're all these things, and we want to be defined by those things. We don't want to be defined by the fact that we had cancer.
I am going to keep making sure I'm diligent about getting all the checks I need to and everything, but I feel pretty confident about it. But I think for me, it just is a reminder that each day I get to be in the gym with our team and our staff is a gift, and that, life is short. And so you definitely really, I think, bring that true joy to what we're doing.
Not coaching was never an option. Same thing, I was hell-bent on the season not being about me. I was very clear with everybody that I was not going to entertain. We had to put it out there because I was going to go through chemo, I was going to lose my hair, there were going to be things, there might, at the beginning you didn't know if you were going to have to miss games. I did end up missing one, but there has to be some kind of an answer for it. But I was not going to speak about it publicly because then it would become about me and not about our team in a year where I knew we had the potential to be a national championship contender. But I also felt like, life is hard. And I think our players, it was a good thing for our players to see us go through this because this is real life. And whether it happens to them or someone in their family, you have to be able to carry on. And I felt, in hindsight, I think at the time I didn't realize that was my mentality, but I think looking back, I think it was really important for us to show our players that like we could do this. And it was, you know, you can do hard things happen, bad things happen, and you have to be able to roll with it. And, you know, I do think for my players who were here that year, I think looking back on that year, they really appreciated that. And I also think it kept them very focused.
We're just so lucky, you know, to do the jobs we do, that do keep us so busy, and it's a purpose. Every single day it's a purpose. And so that was great. Helped me just